All right. Well, I'm a bit under the weather. I was going to do this as a live demo, but I do have a video of the same project, which I will be showing. It's about an hour long, and it's how to make a beehive box. It's a fun project. I'm going to show how to make several different size beads by hand. No, I'm not using a bead turning tool or anything like that, just a spindle gouge. That's how I learned how to make them a long time ago, and that's the way I still do it. So let me a couple more things. This video was a recording of a live demo I gave on YouTube a year and a half ago. So if it sounds like I'm talking to you, it's actually I'm talking to people that were on YouTube. And if I answer a question, it's because they asked the question in the chat box on YouTube. So sometimes it's going to seem a little weird that I'm talking to you, but I'm actually not talking to you. And also, please save your questions until after the video, because I have to switch my audio over so you guys can hear the audio of the video. So my mic won't be on. So let me share my screen here. First, I'm going to switch the audio. So I'll see you on the back end there, and I'll get the video going.
All right. Thanks, Scott.
Welcome to the all-day virtual craft festival. It's been a long day, a lot of great crafters. I hope you guys all had a really good time, and we've got one more person after me. That'd be Carl Jacobs. Always does a great demo, so we don't want to miss that one. So today, I am going to make a beehive box. Something along this lines. This one's kind of a dud. There's a practice piece though, so I'm not too worried about it. So we got some bright lights in here today. Let's see if that helps. There we go. Oh, we've got the inside, of course, a little bit of texturing on the inside, some texturing on the bottom. We're going to go through all that. Let's get on it. I'm going to grab me a roughing gouge here. And that's a good view right there. I'm just going to rough this piece down real quick. I tend to turn a little fast. So we got it at about 1800 RPMs thereabouts. So I want to start on the inside and work my way out with the roughing gouge. And we're just going to turn it around to get the basic shape going here. Looks like we're almost there, almost. This is a piece of sugar pine out of the Sierra Nevada mountains. There's the Sequoia National Park. It's taken out of the national forest, actually. It's all reclaimed lumber. These pieces come from trees that have fallen down up there. Yeah, oh, I got an alarm going off. That means I started just a little early. Alexa, turn off the alarm. Thank you. But that'll give me more time to make me make that magic wand after all. So let's have a look, see where we're at. And we're almost round. As we can see, we're get some of that rest of that off of there, clean that, get to the clean part of the wood. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the chat while I do this. Also, I'll stop every now and again, take a look, see if there's any questions. So I'll do right now. Let's see here. Yeah, okay, no questions yet, but this is all basic wood turning stuff pretty much. All right. So what I want to do now is I'm just going to true up the ends real quick with a parting tool. And then I'm going to do the general shaping with the large parting tool. I want to make a tenon at this end, but I'm going to true up the end first. I'm going to grab me my calipers that I set earlier. I'm just going to see where we're at here. And once this falls over, I'll know it's the right size for my chuck jaws. There we go. That's what we needed there. Yeah, I'm going to switch cameras here. Maybe get a whole different view. I got alarms going off everywhere, don't I? I didn't want to mess up and miss the start time. So just one more half a cut of the width of the parting tool here. Let's make sure we have a good tenon going. Since I'm using a Talon jaws or a Talon chuck, I need a straight tenon and not a dovetail tenon. Now I'm just creating a nice sharp flat area right here with a sharp corner. And we are there. So now I want to do is just start general shaping of the piece. So this is going to be the, you know what, I'm going to turn it around, put it in those jaws while I'm at it, while I'm thinking about this. So I'm just going to true up this end real quick first. There we go. I need to pop this out of the chuck. Now's a good time to ask any questions yet. Nope. No questions. And I'm going to switch my glasses real quick. I do have my safety readers on, and I prefer to wear my actual safety glasses. There we go. Take my spur drive out of here. That's in my chuck. That's perfect. Up there, we don't want the tenon in the bottom out in the bottom of the jaws, or it's not going to seat nice and tight against the jaws right here. We need really nice contact right here all the way around. And because this pine is a little soft, I need to give it a couple.
If you could do that, you could go to the
Scott, are you muted?
Hey Scott, is your sound still okay?
And work our way to a spindle gouge. I might tilt stop just a little further back. And to create this shape, I do need to drop my tool rest down just a little bit. There we go. Well, we're not going to use this whole thing for the box. I'm just going to grab a pencil. I'm going to mark it using my other pre-made one here, just to give you an idea how deep we're actually going to go. And just leave a little room for play right there. And grab me my parting tool again. Just mark that where I don't go beyond this area here. A little ways. It'll also give me room to work with around this for the shaping. Don't want to go any further than that. Everybody knows kind of basically what a beehive kind of looks like. All right, so that's about as far as I can go with the big roughing gouge. I'm going to grab me my smaller one here. It's going to keep on shaping down on this side too. Kind of give me an idea of what I'm looking for here before I start making any beads and marking up where I want the lid to be. All right, so now I need to readjust my tool rest, bring it around here so I can get rid of this part up on the top. Gonna smooth it over. Let's see if I can get a better picture of that here. So you guys can see what I'm doing there. There we go. Now I need to lower my tool rest just a little bit more here for this tool. I did leave kind of a groove in the top, so we want to get rid of that. And now that I got that part done, I could finish up the shaping here. So I got a pretty good idea of what the dome top looks like. It looks like a light bulb at this point, but we want just nothing but roundness on this. I think I got a pretty good shape going here now. So I'm just going to do a cleanup real quick. It's kind of nice, gentle cuts, and I'm going to sand it with 120 real quick just to get rid of any tool marks, any dips and bumps that might have shown up during using the roughing gouge here. So just 120 will really do a really quick job on this. On this pine here, it's a fairly soft but very nice pine. It doesn't have a lot of resin in it, which is why I like it so much. It's got nice grain in it too. Ah, what made me decide on this project? Summertime. Summertime is always a good time. You see the bees out. Springtime, summertime. All right, so we got a good shape going there. So I'm grabbing my parting tool one more time and just mark where I want this to bottom out. Just a slight mark, not too deep, because I still need to hollow this out. Give me an idea where I want those beads to end. All right. Now this is going to be the fun part. I don't generally, I don't even own one. I don't use the easy beaters or things like that. I like to do my beads by hand, just with a simple parting tool. So I'm going to start it towards the bottom there and work my way towards the top. I almost forgot one step though. I need to figure out where I need to put that. I need to part it off for the box here. So it's 3 inches. So I'm going to do it like about 2 inches there. This is basically the tenon that's going to go inside the box. I'm just going to make it kind of deep. There we go. And one more slight little cut there, and then I'll part it off with my thin parting tool when it comes time to do that portion of the piece. So I'm going to start at the bottom here, and I'm just going to start rolling beads by having my tool straight up and down. I need to adjust my tool rest just a little bit down here. And what I do is I just do a simple, I get the bead bevel rubbing, bring the tool handle
Looks
up.
like the video is froze.
Then I just do a simple twist and a twist, just like that. And I'm just going to continue that. You said the video froze? Oh, it's still running on my end. Anybody else have that problem?
No, it's frozen.
Well, I paused this so I could
Okay.
talk. But I'll get it going again. Hold on a second. All the way down. I'm not trying to make each bead exactly the same. You've seen beehives, towards the middle, the beads get a little bit bigger. And then they kind of shrink towards the top, again, towards the top here. So I need to adjust my tool rest around. No, I can just work on this part first. So I need to do the opposite direction. Same kind of cut, just different direction here. Get the so light cuts here. Start in the middle of that bead there. And you can see those beads forming pretty good. And if you're not happy with them, sandpaper can clean that, make them a little bit rounder. I'm going to stop to see if there's any more questions. You have a preference on tool brands? Well, this one is a Henry Taylor spindle gouge. It's the M42 type of steel. I like Thompson. I started out using Sorbies, and I've still got some of those left, but I've kind of grind most of those away. And so I've been replacing them with more better steel type of tools. All right, so we're going to start up here again. Oh, that's too low. All right. So this is a little different because we're making beads on a curve. So you got to take that into account here. So we'll have to adjust the tool rest every now and again. So you need to make smaller beads here. I'll probably grab me a smaller spindle gouge as I work my way towards the top. And I have one right here. There it is. This is the old Glazer. Yep. Very old. What is this? Yeah. An old Glazer tool. Pretty cool. Huh? It's made in Portland, Oregon, 2007. I like these old type of tools. I need to raise my tool rest because this is a smaller tool here. Go. Same type of thing. We need to, I'm way too high now. Same thing. We're just going to raise the tool rest up and do that kind of a dip in there. And then we got to work our way around. And I make the beads a little smaller as we get towards the center. Yeah, we need to adjust it one more time down. That way we're cutting that bead right on the center here. So we just need to come back and adjust these, just nice little. All right, this has already lost its edge. I'm gonna grab me a different spindle gouge. I can't believe that one already lost its edge, but all right. So let's try this one here. It's too small. I'm just gonna go back to my big spindle gouge here. That's working better. So I just need to work my way back around. Oh, bring my tool rest back around that way. Kind of opposite turns here. And what I want to do is try to adjust this bead to where it matches this one down here. So when the box is closed, they'll line up. So this one's a little bit big, so we're just gonna take this down a little bit here. I'm just bending over and having a look. Gonna ease that corner off there a little bit. Bring that corner back around this way. There we go. All right, we pretty much got that matched up. So I'm just gonna come in with that same sanding. It's the sanding paper 120. Which side of the bead is more difficult? Depends on if you're left-handed or right-handed. If you're right-handed, going towards the headstock, it's a little more difficult. If you're left-handed, the right turns are a little more difficult on you. It's a good question, though. Let me turn that up just a little bit. This just helps you round over the beads. Yeah. Want nice curves on these. So get rid of any pull marks that might have been left behind. When it comes to making beads, sandpaper is your friend, at least for me. As you can see, if I was to use like one of those easy wood type of beads, all these beads would have been pretty much kind of like the same size. It would have been more machine made. And so I kind of tend to stay away from those a little bit. All right, so got some nice beads there. So I'm just going to come in with my point tool and I'm just going to create a little bit of a deeper area here, just to kind of define these beads a little bit more. I left a line in there, so I need to come back with my sandpaper and touch that up. There we go. This just helps deepen the grooves. All right. So what I like to sometimes do, but I can't do it in here. I don't have a piece of formica. Sometimes I'll get a thin piece of wood or formica and I will burn lines in between all these grooves, but I don't have any on hand right now. So we're just gonna leave it at that. So what I want to do now is I'm going to grab me my small parting tool. Well, first I want to there's kind of a little bit of a groove on this tenon. And I also want to make sure it's good and parallel. I'm just going to glance down there. And so we can go a little bit deeper now. Now that we have these two beads that look like they're going to line up when the box is together. I'm going to grab you my very thin parting tool here, and I'm going to part the lid off. All right, so that's deep enough to where I can just twist that off now. There we go. So what I need to do now is I just need to measure this tenon so I make the opening right. So I'm gonna grab my calipers here. Slide some of these tools out of the way. What I want to do is just measure these here. Measure that tenon. Go. It's good. We'll lock that down. Put that over here for now. Swing my tool rest around. And I'm just going to create a mark using my calipers. Just going to bring it up just gently right on. And I'm just going to make sure this point touches the wood. This point does not. So you don't want these things flying back at you, that's for sure. I'm going to turn down the speed a little bit here. We don't need to do this at a high rate of speed. So I like to start on the inside, work my way out till I get the right line going here. Just a little bit more out. All right, we are lined up. And we'll creep up on that when we're following the inside. So for this, I'm going to put the post right under the center of the center of the wood. That way when I'm drilling a hole with my spindle gouge, I got the most support out of my tool rest. So we just need to speed this up again. I need to get rid of a little too fast there. Get rid of this little nubbin here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring my tool in sort of like at 45 degrees. And I can just do some peeling cuts. Just instead of going in, I'm coming out, because going in, I'll be fighting in grain. And I'm just going to get you guys a better view of this. There we go. That's a good view, right? Yeah. So I'm just going to bring this out just like this. And I'm just going to adjust that camera around just a little bit. Just get a better, maybe a better angle. So I just push the tool in at 45 degrees, kind of like a drill bit. Then I bring the tool out. Okay, so it's kind of hopping and jumping. So it's time to get me a scraper here. Because once you go so far at the overhang, the tool can get a little jumpy. So I'm just going to grab me a easy wood tool with a round carbide bit on it. And I'm going to need to bring my tailstock a little further back since the handle's hitting. There we go. Straight in, straight on the hit center there. And I'm trying to remember to match the shape of the inside for the outside here. I find with the easy wood tools, I can actually go in and out both directions without without very much difficulty. Okay, so we're almost there. So I want to stop here. And I'm going to grab me my box scraper and just put a straight parallel cut right into the side here. Going in straight, tools. I gotta move my tell center out of my. Just kind of a cumbersome thing having it right there. All right. So I need to lift the handle just a little bit. Need to raise the tool rest a little bit because this is a scraper. So it needs to be a little bit above center. And here we go. And now I want to check the fit of the lid. And we are almost there. Just about. Now, this part is going to be the fun part because I like to texture the inside. And a little detail to the inside there. So I'm right on the line there. So hopefully I didn't go too small. It might be a little loose, but that's all right if it is. You don't need to worry about using this as a jam chuck. Ooh. Wow, just, oh man. Wow, just, it's one of those things where it's like, do I dare to go any further? But I have to because it's not quite going on. So just a very slight. So this box cutter is got an angle on this end too, with a burr along the edge, so I can bring it in at a 40, a slight tilt, not 45 degrees, but this will let me to take some very light, straight cuts. Okay. Ooh. Oh. You got a pop fit there, see? So I don't like it when it's quite that tight. I don't like when you pull a box lid off and everything goes flying out because it's just a little too tight. The reason why I don't want to sand it, because that can actually mess up this cut. It can actually create a thicker area on one part and a thinner area along here. And when you twist the lid, it could get, actually, when you turn it like this, if you use sandpaper, you won't be able to turn it like that because it'll actually jam on, loosen, jam on, almost like it's threaded. We got a good fit there though, just like that. Okay, so we need to adjust that size of that bead right there. So I'm going to grab me my spindle gouge and adjust that right now. I'm going to pull the lid off. Where are you? There we go. Just needs a little bit of tweaking here. Too low, need to bring it up. Is there any questions? It's like everybody's having a good time chatting. That's great. So I'm just going to kind of make this bead a little smaller. We can touch it with the sandpaper again just to clean it up. That's much better. All right, so we got pretty equal beads all the way around. This one's a little bit bigger than this one, but that's how nature is. It's never exact. So we're just going to clean up this face here. I also like to soften this just a little bit right here on the corner. That way when a lot of the use of the pulling and putting the lid back on and off, if this is a little soft, it won't tend to crack the wood as much. If it's like a really hard surface, sharp corner right there, and you keep popping it on, off, on, it can cause a stress crack in there. So I found out. So what time are we? Okay, we're doing good. All right, so I'm just going to part this off. So grab me my parting tool here. And then we're going to hollow the lid here in just a second. And when I'm doing this parting tool, I'm doing kind of a slight undercut, which will allow the box to sit flat on the table, just around the edges here. And I'm going to touch that corner up with this. So there's kind of a sharpness to that. And I'm just going to look over the beads one more time just to see if there's any more tool marks left. Doesn't look like it. All right. Nice and gently. We don't want this thing flying off at us here. And we are going to reverse so we can clean up the bottom in a minute here. Because we do need to get rid of that little nubbin right there. All right. So what we want to do now is we'll just clean this up. We'll make this it's going to be too small for, it might work as a jam chuck. If we can get that rounded over here. Just so I can clean up the bottom there. Sometimes I use my pin jaws just to stick in there, but I'm just going to try to do this real quick. Need to get rid of that little nubbin on the end there. These things always drive me crazy. All right. And I just want to check one more time to make sure this will create a it'll go down inside there. Maybe, maybe not. Give it a we'll try a little bit here. If not, I'll use my pin jaws. Trying to match the curve on the inside of the box here. Hopefully this will jam right onto it. Okay. You're almost there. It's rubbing right that spot right there. So we just need to clean that up a little bit. Kind of left the mark when I was rubbing it on the wood. Give me an idea what to aim for here. Almost. Famous last words of a wood turner. Almost. So we can get that on there good and tight here. Feels like it's on there pretty good, actually. I just don't want it to fly off in the middle of my demonstration here. That wouldn't be a good thing. Get it on there really well. And we'll see what happens here. I just barely need to clean this up. So if it pops off, everything will be fine. It's a small piece. It's not going to cause any damage if it does come off. So I'm just going to do some cuts towards the headstock. So if I go towards the side, it will tend to pull the piece off the jam chuck here. So I'm just going to clean this up. Yeah, still got that little nub in there. I want to get rid of that. There we go. Kind of a divot right there, but that's fine because I'm going to take an elf tool. I'm just going to create some texture on the bottom. That's the elf tool, you might ask. Oh, it's one of these little boogers. It's just a carbide little cutter with it's got a bearing right there and a rare earth magnet in the bottom to help hold it in place. And you can do all kinds of designs with these. These are just really great here. So I'm just going to see if I can get a floret going here right in the center. This is soft wood, so it tends to cut this really well here. We're going to stop there. It did get a kind of a design right there. That looks nice. So I'm going to grab me my little point tool and just help highlight that. And when I put oil on it, these kind of texture marks will show up. They'll create shadow lines. And just to highlight that there. Almost like I did that little divot on purpose. All right, so we got a nice bottom going there. So we pop this off. Grab my key here. Now the good thing about these little beads I have on here, if I can get a different overhead shot here. You guys can't see that either. Okay. So I can use these beads if I open up my jaws far enough, and the jaws will just rest right there, which will allow me to do the inside of the box. Here. See if I, yeah, see right there. Yeah. Just snug it up. It doesn't need, this is soft wood, so it doesn't need to be like, oh my gosh, it's crazy breakneck stuff here. All right, so we got a good view of that. What time is it? Okay, we're at 4:36. We're doing good. We're doing good, folks. All right. So I'm going to use my parting tool to create steps going towards the inside there. So I want to make sure it's going to be cutting on center. And I got the tool right there. Yep, that's a good height for my tool rest. I'm going to turn up my lathe. It's a little too fast. About, for those of you who are interested, I'm about 1900 RPMs there. So I'm just going to start here on the side here. Just go straight in. And then each subsequent step just goes a little bit deeper. And one more. And then I'll flatten out the rest of it. So I can create another texture on the bottom of this part. So I need to lower my tool rest just a hair to get that part out. And we're not quite at the right angle for the center part here. Just gonna cut it right down the middle there. So it's like a bee stinger, huh? I thought I did that on purpose. I'm going to tilt my tool rest or my parting tool with just a slight angle so I can get rid of that nubbin on the bottom there. Come up from the bottom. I'm at the wrong camera. Sorry about that. There we go. There. So I just
Only on a demo.
nubbin that's in the bottom, so I'm just going to come in with my little spindle gouge here and just clean that up. Get that rid of that. There we go. And I'm just going to touch it with a small piece of sandpaper. Move this back out of the way. Just clean that up real quick. There we go. Now I can bring the elf tool into this part and create sort of the same type of design. And now we got a nice design in there. You guys can see those steps I was creating there. So I'm gonna grab me my sandpaper again, fold it into thirds. Just kind of clean up those steps a little bit. I want to move my tool rest out of the way. So just gonna bring this in, just touch the corners here. Clean up any tear out that parting tool might have left behind. And I'll probably grab that point tool, highlight that center part. For the elf tool cut, so it's about right. Right that area. All right, so I just keep an eye on it when I switch on the lathe. Doesn't need to go very deep. There we go. Yeah, it looks like we're just about done with this project. All right, almost. There's a little added thing we need to do to this beehive to make it look like a beehive, more so than it already does. All right. So as you can see, we've got nice looking beehive there, but there's something missing. Bet you guys are already ahead of me on this one. So let me grab something here. All right. And go to the overhead so you guys see what I'm doing here. What am I talking about? Bag of bees. We need to toss them out. We need to get a good piece of, probably 180 will work. You need to scratch up the bottoms of these because they're so smooth. There's no teeth for the glue to grab hold of. So you just want to just scratch the bottom. Just enough to, doesn't take much. It's just enough to create some tooth on the bottom of these for the glue to adhere to. There's a couple of small ones here. Let's see, what time is it? Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have time to do a magic wand this time around, but might be able to do it next time. Let's see. Bees are missing. That's right. The bees are missing, but I've got that covered. So I need to grab me a roll of paper towel so this thing doesn't roll around on me here. Oh, I'll use these. These will work really well. Just kind of helps hold the pieces together. like this one right here, so it doesn't roll around while we put bees on it. Because you add some bees and then you gotta let them sit for a little while before you go to the next section. This is just simple, this simple clear tacky glue you can get at most hobby shops or craft stores like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. They sell it. And we're just gonna stick that little guy right on there. This is extra tacky, so you can let go of it pretty quickly. Which one did I scratch here? I'm looking for one I scratched. There's one. So we need a little bee next to his buddy here. Come on, glue. And we can just kind of stick them on there. You can roll it a little bit. We can put a smaller bee maybe on the lid here. So we're just going to stick that right on here. Put him on top. There we go. Just stick him on there like that. These tend to stay pretty well with this type of glue.
Using Rogaine there, Scott?
It tacks up really quick. And we can just roll this around and maybe put a bigger bee on this side here. I always forget I need to leave this thing upside down so the glue doesn't change on me. Go back into the bottle. This guy's a little bit bigger, so I got to hold him for a minute. There we go. And so we kind of got, see if I can hold this guy up. You guys can see that. Got ourselves a Beehive Box.
It's beautiful. That's awesome. I love it.
That's a nice
Like
idea.
this.
That's a nice idea, Scott, really.
And
Nice.
I'll keep working on it. And this is a resin bees, so I could put any finish I want over it. I can put a spray over it. I could put oil on them. It's not going to affect them at all once the glue is dry. All right, thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
Hey, that was a great demo.
All right, now for the encore.
Yeah,
Very nice job, Scott.
Yeah, good job.
yeah, it looked good.
Mm-hmm.
So we got one more add-on here.
And I think it's, oh man, 10 minutes. I don't know if I can I can shove all this stuff out of the way and make a magic wand for you guys really quick. I've got 10 minutes. Let me slide this out of here.
Use your magic.
We'll give it a whirl. And if I run out of time, then save it for next time. But I need to change my chuck out. What do you guys think? Magic wand?
Magic wand, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate the compliments on the beehive. I really like making them. It's a fun project and not too difficult to make. Don't forget Carl's coming up. Don't want to forget about Carl. He's the last demonstrator of the day. I'm sure he's got something pretty good, something really cool planned for us. So this is just a 1.5 inch dowel rod here. I'm putting in some pin jaws. And I'll zoom out on my camera in a second here so you guys can see the whole thing here. All right, here we go. Let's zoom out. Oh, wrong direction. A little too close. There we go. And I need to put my larger pull rest on here. And I'll bring the tailstock up second here. Oh, bouncing cameras all over the place. I'm just going to try to center this up as close as I can, just eyeball it. Can't remember how long this thing is as far as measurement goes. How long of a, this is a 15-inch long piece of dowel. It's 1.5 inches in diameter. Thank you. I appreciate the comments. Really appreciate that. So we're going to grab a pencil here and determine how big of a handle we need. So if I was to grab it myself, right about the, all right, so here. So I'm just going to, that'll use a different step there. Oops, design dot. All right, here we go. Let's zoom out. Oh, wrong direction. Oh, too close. There we go. And I need to put my larger pull rest on here. And I'll bring the tailstock up second here. Oh, bouncing cameras all over the place. I'm just going to try to center this up as close as I can, just eyeball it. Can't remember how long this thing is as far as measurement goes. How long of a, this is a 15-inch long piece of dowel. It's 1.5 inches in diameter. Thank you. I appreciate the comments. Really appreciate that. So we're going to grab a pencil here and determine how big of a handle we need. So if I was to grab it myself, right about there, it's probably a good place to put a bead for the handle. So it is out of not running really true, so I'm just going to adjust that a little bit here. One more time. Get a little closer. Famous last words, huh? A little too much. Well, I'll just true it up. As long as it's in between centers and tightening the jaws, it'll be fine. All right. Let's grab my roughing gouge. I'm just going to true up the ends here. See how it's wobbling just a little bit. Going to be taking all this away anyway, so it doesn't really matter if it's running a true out of true a little bit. Now I'll remark that in a second here. All right, we'll put that mark back on there. is more of a production turning of a wand, I guess you could call it. I'm just gonna kind of make it a taper at both ends here. You're gonna come back here and do the same thing, coming. The peel cut. Grab me my smaller roughing out gouge here to finish this off. All right, 8 minutes. Can I do it? Kind of a taper coming out of the handle there. Kind of a cove right here. It's still a little too thick for a magic wand. So I'm going to take this down real quick. There we go. It's a little bit better. Kind of a long taper into a cove right here. Kind of ease the cuts a little bit better there. And I'm just going to kind of thin it out as I go towards the top. We're going to take all of this out in a second here. We're just kind of getting the general shape in that we want. All right. Grab me a spindle gouge here. Kind of make a slight bead at the end here. Just kind of. My small roughing gouge again, just to clean that up. All right, don't worry, Carl. I'll get it done before you start. All right, need a bead right here, a handle. Oop. Now, generally, I would have sanded this already. Not my best one, but hey, not bad for 10 minutes, right? Not sure how many people are still watching. Let's take a look, see here. We got 35 people watching, yeah. Everybody's gonna go talk, see. Oh, knew it. Messed that up on the end there, but I didn't need to worry about that. Everybody's gonna go see Carl, which I don't blame them, that's fine. I just need to cut both ends off here. Three minutes. Ah! Almost where it's cut off. I'll clean that up a little bit. I had time to kill, so why not make it a wand, right? Yeah. All right. We're gonna grab me my parting tool and we're just gonna part this puppy right off of here. Kind of.
Mm.
5 o'clock. There it goes. Got us a. We got us a. Kind of a real quick magic wand there. What the heck? Why not? All righty. There you go.
Great demo, Scott. Enjoyed that.
Thank you.
That was a great demo. Thank you very much.
Well, you're quite welcome.
Thank
What's
you
the-
very much for sharing.